Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining with us. All right, I have got Mark Singleton. He is the lead marketer for Southern Recipe Small Batch. Mark, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Michael. I'm glad to be here.
All right, I'm glad you're here. All right, give our audience a background on what Southern Recipe Small Batch does. Obviously, we've got the different products lined up here too. And then I want to get into some of the things that are different when you're talking about pork rinds or chips, because you guys do something different. But first, tell us about the Southern Recipe Small Batch.
Well, we've been making pork rinds since 1955, but about 4 years ago, we noticed that none of our fan mail was telling us that we should put more yellow number 7 or red lake number 5 or any of those things. And so we started looking at how could we really hit the current consumers' concerns about what they eat. We've all got 500 TV channels. This is the most educated consumer of all time. And so we formed the small batch team, and we got some of our best, youngest people. And we said, okay, if we were going to just completely ignore everything we know about pork rinds, what would we do? And this is what we did. And it's worked out pretty good. It's the number one brand in Texas right now, and it really seems to have hit on some consumers' desires that they didn't even know they had.
Now, what about this business about being high protein, low carb, and keto?
Yeah, it's a pork rind renaissance right now. The category's up 25-30% over the last 52 weeks versus the center store of the groceries not growing at all of a grocery store, and even chips are only growing at about 3.7%. So when you've got a category growing at 25 to 30%, everybody starts to take notice, and it's because of what you mentioned, the keto effect. Unbelievable.
Now, you've got unique, bold, internationally flavored pork rinds. Walk me through what we've got.
Well, when we started trying to talk to our consumers, and we're really lucky. We get a lot of fan mail. We get a lot of dialogue with our consumers. We thought there would be people out there that wanted something that had never been on a pork rind. So we went around the world looking for, kimchi barbecue was really starting to pop up in a whole lot of different restaurants. And once we hit on that, we said, wow, what else can we do? Pineapple ancho is something people hadn't thought about. Sea salt and cracked pepper had been around a while, but had never been put on a pork rind. So all of these flavors were combined with our efforts to get 40% of the salt out of small batch and really make it different.
What are the things that are really propelling the industry? Because if you've got that kind of growth rate, something is out there besides just the taste. It's got to be a bigger item that seems to be driving that industry.
Yeah, it's all about protein right now. I've been doing this a long time, and the Atkins effect was good for us. President Bush loving pork rinds was great for us, but nothing's been like this keto effect. People are having success with high protein diets. They're finding their numbers are better. They're finding their weight loss goals are achieved, and finally there's something great to eat, because we're getting more trial. What's driving us, to answer your question, basically, is almost 45% more people are eating pork rinds today than even 3 years ago. 45%.
That's a huge market share.
It's amazing. We've gone from eight when I first got here in 2003 to 19%. But that's still only 1 out of 5 Americans. So we've got a lot of runway to go, I think.
All right, what's next to come for the pork rind industry?
Well, I think, forever we were Bubba food. We were sold to blue collar, rural, I know our demographics better than anything. Now we're seeing college educated, female, people who are really understand that we've always got a bum rap, that something that's 8 grams of protein, 60% of our fat is the good fat like oleic acid. And now that we've lowered the salt by 40%, the consumers are really, we're bringing a whole new consumer into the category, and we're getting a much higher income consumer. I was reviewing you live here in Dallas as I do, and I was reviewing the data today. Our best selling stores are in Highland Park and Lover's Lane, Prestonwood. That's never happened before, Michael.
Now, you're connecting with your end consumer in a unique way. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the market penetration you have. Explain that.
Yeah, Rudolph Foods is a family-owned company. Southern Recipe is part of that family. And we're very active in our communities. We're very active across the country with a number of things that mean a lot to us. And one of the great things that we worked on this summer was with the Blessings in a Backpack folks. I'm not sure if you're aware, but a lot of kids their meal needs are taken care of by the schools during the year and during the week. But when they go home for the weekend, oftentimes they have nothing to eat. And we teamed up with the Blessings in a Backpack organization to try and do something about that.
So you give back to the community aside from selling a product. You're helping the community that is buying your product. I appreciate that.
Well, you see a lot of it right now. You saw in the Wall Street Journal last week, CEOs are saying that it's no longer just about the shareholders. It's no longer just about the employees here, that you've got many constituents. Certainly we have our great consumers that buy our products, without whom none of us would exist. Right. But within that, we have our communities that support us, that support our employees and support their families. And these people are very important to us. I don't make a single pork rind, Michael, but a lot of great people do. And we want to support the communities in which we live.
That's very commendable. As a matter of fact, I really appreciate you saying that and doing that. Now, going forward, are there any other events that Southern Recipe Small Batch is participating in, where people can come and meet the people that represent the company and really get a better handle on the product for their own consumption?
Oh, absolutely. We're out in the Dallas community at Beer Fest, at wine festivals, food festivals. We're throughout Texas. We'll give away about 250,000 bags this year of pork rinds at different festivals. But we also support another great charity, which is Mike Ditka's Gridiron Greats Foundation. About, 8 years ago, my boss came to me and said, "Hey, Singleton, how come there's no pork rind appreciation day? There's a potato chip day, a popcorn day." And I told him, well, buddy, it's because we hadn't asked anybody for one. I mean, if we don't do it, no one's going to do it. And so we went to the governor and we got him to declare that big game day in February, late January, that I can't say, Pork Rind Appreciation Day. So what goes better on the biggest pigskin holiday of the year than pigskins? And we teamed up with Mike Ditka, and every bag we sell during football season, we give a portion of that sale to the Gridiron Greats Foundation.
Commendable, highly commendable. I've got some introductions I'm going to make to you after the show, so don't hang up after I say goodbye to the audience. Great conversation. Thanks for being a guest.
Oh, you bet. Glad to be here.
All right, you've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining with us. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.